Right, Danny, do you want to continue ripping Everton a new arsehole?
Yeah. Let's get the stretch out for it.
On this episode of the podcast, we continue with part 2 of our end-of-season Premier League review, running from teams 11 to 17. We go over which teams have overachieved, which teams have underperformed, what the teams are going to be like next season, and who their star players have been. So sit back, relax, crack open a cold one. It's time for 4 Manx, 1 Toffee.
Right then, Southampton. How have they done?
Overachieved. Massively.
I think everyone would say that they were doomed when they lost 9-0. But then...
That was where they turned it around.
Yeah, what a turnaround.
That was the best thing that could have happened to them.
Yeah, it probably was. They're 11th, finished 11th. And I think that Ralph Hasenhüttl has just gotten playing really nice football, really well organised. Got a result against us, which they shouldn't have done, 96th minute. But
no, they should have done. They fucking deserved that.
No, they deserved the draw.
We were the worst team in that game. What I like about them is they look well organised, but they look fit as well. When you watch them against us, they high pressed for 96 minutes, and they got what they deserved.
Yeah, 100%.
Against City as well, when they beat City, they were fucking brilliant. The organisation at the back with Jack Stevens leading that defence, it was fantastic.
I always remember that game. I think it might have been the game or the 2 games after they got absolutely pelted by Leicester, and it was Arsenal. Do you remember that game against Arsenal? They nearly won it.
Yeah.
And I thought in the short space of time from that 9-0 to that game, I just thought, like, I'm not watching the same fucking team here. What on earth has happened behind the scenes? You just looked entirely different. Yeah. I think the board have done a really good job there backing the manager. Like they could have thrown Ralph Hasenhüttl out the door. Do you know what I mean? They didn't. They supported him, and he's coming to his own now. And he's proving that he's a really good fucking manager because he's getting the best out of.
Where were they when they got beat 9-0? I swear they were like 19th or something.
Like, were they not? I think they were like third bottom or something like that. Yeah, they were like bottom.
So, and then we saw the stat today where they got 44 points, 2 more than Leicester. Like Leicester got 42 points from that point onward, and Southampton got 44. Yeah, fucking fantastic turnaround.
Yeah. Best player?
Ings.
One name there. Yeah, Danny Ings.
So a special shout out to Alex McCarthy, who's been really good at the back.
Mm. Yeah.
He's since that 9-0, he's come in and he's been brilliant.
Right then. In 12th position is Everton.
Josh, the floor is yours.
Underachieved.
I think it's probably.
That's all I'm saying. No, I'll embellish. Underachieved massively. I was expecting the money that we've spent. We need to be pushing. We need to be in the top 8, 100%. We need to be pushing top 6. We need to be going for Europa League. I think it'd probably be the ruin of us again. I don't think we've got the squad depth there for Europa League. But you spend that sort of money, you've got to be pushing for it at least. Mm-hmm. Let it ruin you for a season and then try again. You know, that's the sort of thing.
I do like a pre-season bet with my mate at the start of every season. We predict to league table. I had your boys finishing 6th.
Exactly.
And it was only more encouraged when Carlo came in. I really thought that was going to be the turnaround, and you've just been shite.
If we didn't have
so wrong, though, what has gone so wrong?
It's not a problem that we've developed this season. It's one that's inherited from many poor decisions from the last 2 or 3 seasons that have now come into effect. If we didn't have Carlo Ancelotti at the helm, I would have no faith, none whatsoever, because we've got him and he's got pulling power and his CV speaks for itself. He can find a good player. He can probably find us the 11 good players that we need in that team. If it wasn't for him, I would be worried for us next year. I really would. The way that we've played and the players we've got in the team, we're playing players there that are barely good enough for Championship teams, let alone a team pushing for Europe. I won't go into detail because I could list you a good 9 out of the 11 first team starters there that don't make the cut. But I will mention a couple. Tom Davies, get gone.
Right.
Shit.
He is crap. I don't care if he's got family that used to play for Everton. I don't care if he's an Everton born and bred. If he cares for that club, he'll step down and move on because he's not good enough at all. If I played for Everton and I wasn't good enough for the first team, I'd let somebody better step in. You know, I know he's got to think about his career and stuff like that. But come on, mate, you're not good enough. You're not good enough at all. Jordan Pickford. Let's go there. We mentioned him briefly. Jordan Pickford, England number 1. My ass.
No chance. He can't be anymore. He can't be anymore.
Well, I'm not being funny, right? But Stecklenberg's leaving now, so we've not even got a number 2. We've not got a second goalkeeper anymore. But that's where Jordan Pickford should be now. He should be the second keeper. And we bring somebody
to Romero.
Well, he'd do a job for us. I think he'd be a great signing.
Yeah, he would.
Best.
Emi Martinez would be from Arsenal.
Yeah.
Make him a first choice keeper.
I just don't think they'd get rid of him, mate, because I think he's better than Leno, is it? I think he's better. So he should be their best keeper now. I just think his performances have been fantastic. Looking at him.
They've been brilliant.
And I don't think he cost them all that much either. I think we brushed on it in a previous podcast, but he's a very good purchase for them.
Best player.
Alex Iwobi, Moise Keane.
Go on.
Oh, please, that's a perfect soundbite. Best player, Alex Iwobi.
No. Take that
Best
out.
player for me is your one good player all season, Richarlison.
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin.
I would say.
Calvert-Lewin's he's upped his game this year, hasn't he?
Yeah. Those two are your only bright spark to me this season.
Do you not think Dinya's done a job? Left back.
Yeah, most assists on 7.
Is that how many he's got? Fair play then. Yeah. Dinya's always been quality though.
Right, Danny, do you want to continue ripping Everton a new arsehole?
Yeah. Let's get the stretch out for it. Now, Dinya's way too good for you. I think he was when you signed him. You can't get a left back from Barcelona, was it?
Mm-hmm.
He's too good. I think he'll move on. Carlo's the only thing that'll keep him, I think. Your defence, Michael Keane's unreliable. Yerry Mina, we said about Maguire. He's just like he is. He's dead erratic. You don't know what you can get from him. I think Seamus Coleman is too injury plagued at the moment. You never know if he's going to be fit or not anymore. And Sidibe is fucking dog shit.
He's gone. He's been sent back.
Has he?
I think Andre Gomez was he was hitting a really good bit of form until the leg break.
Yeah.
And I still think he was your best player. Like technically, especially, he was a fantastic player. But like all players, Luke Shaw, Valencia, that leg break can really just set you back, and I think it might have done for him.
It's the confidence smash, doesn't it?
It's being scared, isn't it? Like you're so wary about going into every single tackle, and you can't do that as a Premier League footballer, and it's such a shame. I think Alex Iwobi, we've said it before, is the biggest joke of a signing I've ever seen. Calvert-Lewin.
What? Sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to throw this out there. I know I slated Alex Iwobi, the other podcast, but Gylfi Sigurdsson, oh my God.
He's been very bad, yeah. Very poor.
But Gylfi Sigurdsson's been bad for a couple of seasons now, and then he just scores a worldie every now and then, and everyone forgives him. We talk about Juan Mata at United being done. Gylfi's been done for 4 years.
Mm.
It's time to shift him on and get someone else in.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, nobody's going to buy him.
No.
His wages, the transfer fee is not going to be astronomical, I don't think.
No.
But you need to get him off the wage bill because he's just earning a living off being a very, very poor, timid, scared of putting his foot in footballer. He's not good enough. There's no grit in Everton anymore. When I was growing up, because we were one of the teams fighting for relegation or, bottom half of the table clubs, we were always a good battle inside. If you come to Goodison Park, you knew you weren't going to have it all your own way. it was like a fortress. Like, you struggled to take 3 points off Everton when I was growing up, but you come now and we're just looking so scared. We won't put like strong tackles in. We've just lost that philosophy at Everton.
The reason why I've been ranting so much, I think more for the listeners, I know you boys know it, I've very much a soft spot for Everton. They're definitely my second team. Like, I've really much a big soft spot for them, and it has pissed me off a lot seeing how they've declined this year, because they should be finishing top 6. They were there or thereabouts with David Moyes, and then when he left, it's just been this slow decline, a few highlights here and there. But like you said, it's like watching a toothless team.
I mean, Martinez did all right, didn't he? But even that waned in the end. And I agree with you. Like, Josh, when I was growing up, Everton was a fucking difficult game, especially when you had the likes of like fucking Carsley and Gravison fucking bossing the midfield. And
Duncan Ferguson.
Like, you always had you just had a tough game. Like, and it was one of those horrible places you just didn't really want to fucking go. It was Goodison.
Even the later years with Stephen Pienaar and Fellaini.
Yeah, the atmosphere at Goodison was always incredible. We just had really good play. Like, Osman was a great player. Pienaar was fantastic. Cahill.
Fellaini was brilliant there. Fellaini worked perfectly at Everton.
Yeah.
Yeah. They always had a good blend of like that creative flair going forward, but solid at the back. And it was good enough at one point to get him Champions League. And I think you hit the nail on the head, Josh. I think it's just poor decisions with management, and then recruitment has just fucking set you back the same way it set United back.
Recruitment's been dreadful. I don't understand what's going wrong, because this Marcel Brands, director of football, the one that finds we got Steve Walsh from Leicester, who's supposed to be like one of the most sought after scouts, brought in Mahrez and Kante and Vardy. I can't be sure about that, but I feel like he brought at least two of those.
Definitely Mahrez and Kante. Definitely Mahrez and Kante.
He brought in two of Leicester's title-winning players, the two best from that season, and we get him, and he just brings nothing to the team. Marcel Brands throwing astronomical sums at crap players. The only ones off the top of my head that we've spent good money on that have turned out to be half decent is Richarlison, 50 million, and Gomez, Digne, and Gomez only cost like 23, I think, something like that. It was 20 something.
A bit of a bargain.
I think you just hit the nail on the head there, where you've just said, look, the only decent player you throw money at. You just said 50 million for a half decent Richarlison. 50 million shouldn't be getting you half decent, should it?
No.
50 million got Chelsea Timo Werner.
Yeah.
It should be getting you a world class player.
It should be. In this day and age, if you've got bad recruitment like we have, then it gets you a star player in a poor team. But in any other club, would he be the same player? I mean, I think he's probably still got a lot of potential. I think he can go far, but I'm not sure if he can do it for us. I mean, I think
you're in a similar position to us, where I think teams know that you're desperate for players now. They look at your starting 11 and they look at how much money you have got and know that they can take advantage of it. And it's fine for a club like United, because we're going for that top end player. Like, the rumours are today, we've had 98 million rejected for Sancho already. We're going for that top end player. You went for Watford's striker Richarlison, who scored about 10 goals, and you spent 50 million on him.
And he had a good half a season. He didn't have a good full season.
No.
His head went for the second half.
Yeah, it's just weird.
So we went through best player, didn't we? We said Richarlison, didn't we?
I'm going to say Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, I'm saying Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, okay. Calvert-Lewin.
So next up then is, to some extent, my second team in Newcastle United. So I think personally that Newcastle have overachieved this season. I think that with Rafa leaving, the uncertainty around the club, and then the dire disappointment of the fans for bringing Steve Bruce in. Like, the reason that my second team, obviously, that for people that don't know, is that my dad's a Geordie and he's a big Newcastle fan, and he was fucking livid when they got rid of. Well, they didn't get rid of Benitez, he left, didn't he, for more money? But then they brought Steve Bruce in. My dad was in despair. He was preparing for a relegation battle this year, and he was like, "Do you know what? We'll probably go down." And our other mate, Ian's a Newcastle fan, he was expecting Newcastle to go down as well. So to finish 13th and quite well, and the signings they've made, Alan Saint-Maximin being the key player. They've also got that other fella in, that Lazaro. I think that they've gone above and beyond where everyone expected them to, and the hope is that this uncertainty around the takeover goes through quick, because the transfer window's open, the clock's ticking. It's literally like 6 weeks or something until the start of next season. They haven't got long to get these deals over the line, and the players that they'll go for will be dependent on whether they've got the money that comes in with this takeover. So the Premier League need to pull the finger out and say yes or no. So at least Newcastle know what position they're in financially, and go from there. So yeah, I think they've overachieved me to get to where they are.
I'm just going to refer back to when I said about I made that league prediction table. I ironically only got 2 of them right. One of them was Man United finishing 3rd, and one was Newcastle finishing 13th. I think they've achieved. I think they've just done it. I think, like you said, the uncertainty with the club, but poor signings. Joelinton.
Oh, 40 million they spent on him.
You can't. We've just slated Everton spending 50 million on a striker. Newcastle spent 40 million on a striker who is done fuck all.
Well, we touted him in our previous podcast as one of the season, didn't we?
I just think Newcastle now, until this takeover goes through, or if this takeover goes through, they're just going to hover between 11th and 16th for the next few years.
Yeah.
They're just that lower table Prem club now.
Yeah.
And until they get some money, until Mike Ashley finally fucks off, they're going to be known as that team that have the good fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with a big stadium.
Yeah.
It's a shame for Newcastle because it's a fantastic city. I love it up there. And it is like, it's not much of a rarity, but it's a one club city, in that there is only one, unless you're going to be a weirdo and go for like Gateshead or whoever, or Whitley Bay, but I guess, or Blythe Spartans. But they are a one club city, and I feel like the fans bring the passion, that they are regularly voted or touted as one of the best away grounds to go to, have some of the best away fans in the league. And you kind of feel like they deserve a bit more. But again, I know we've talked previously about no one deserves anything in the Premier League, but at the same time, 53,000 people, no matter what, in that stadium. Obviously, coronavirus pending, obviously, but I just feel like they do deserve a little bit more than 13th/relegation battle every year. And it's actually quite surprising to me that someone hasn't come in legitimately and bitten Mike Ashley's hand off for 300 million, because with the right investment, they could be, maybe not as far as, but they could be the next Manchester City, and they could be pushing.
To deal with, isn't it? That's the long and short. He's a cunt to deal with, and no one wants to deal with him. I think Newcastle have overachieved, but in the grand scheme of things, I can't help but remember Newcastle in the 90s and the early noughties, like pushing for the league, playing the Champions, and playing well in the Champions League under Bobby Robson at times. Like, I just think
Barcelona game.
They're a top 6 team, and they shouldn't be anywhere near relegation. They shouldn't have been in the Championship. They shouldn't be in the bottom half of the Premier League. And you've just hit the nail on the head, kind of like, I know no team has a divine right to be in any position, but you think of the biggest teams in England, Newcastle are one of the first names that comes to the front of your mind, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Dale and Josh feel about it. I just think Newcastle should be doing so much better than they have been, and I feel really sorry for the fans that they've had to put up with the bollocks that they've had to put up with Mike Ashley.
Yeah, I think I'm Sabo just, should be doing miles better than what they are. But again, I think it's just the owner in it. That's what it comes down to. It's just, he's a bit of a twat.
The best player then?
I
think it's got to be Alan Saint-Maximin for me.
I think clutching at straws, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. Him or Miguel Almiron.
I mean, I do think the keeper's a solid
Bravka.
keeper.
Yeah, he's a good
I do think
player.
he's a pretty good keeper. So I'd probably throw his name in the mix as well.
Yeah, to be honest, Dale, I think I'd go with you there. I think Dubravka's been probably our most outstanding player, if you can call one.
Probably a couple of seasons now, I think. Yeah.
I think that,
you know what?
Go on.
John Joe Shelby should be the best player in that team. That guy has got the potential to be fantastic, but erratic.
Yeah.
He's just like
he does seem to have calmed down a lot these last few seasons. And I know he's gone for therapy for it as well, which is definitely helping. But if you look at a ball playing centre midfielder, he can pass a ball as good as most players in the league.
He's brilliant.
He should be doing better than he is.
I love that he's done for therapy just because he just can't stop fucking two-footing people.
I missed that though. We need more players like that.
Yeah. I'm going to shout out the Longstaff brothers as well. I think Matty and Sean have come on the scene this season, especially Sean, and they've been really, really good. I know Matty's leaving, looking to supposedly going to Italy, which is going to be an interesting move.
I don't want it last year. I like that.
Udinese.
That's it.
Who ironically also own Watford. I think that was the plan. They're going to sign him and then loan him to Watford.
Fuck me.
Yeah, they've got a weird link, haven't they? Udinese and Watford.
Yeah, they've got the same ownership group, I think. But yeah, Sean Longstaff especially, I think he was touted for us at the start of the season. I don't think he's that good, but the potential's there. But yeah, Dubravka personally, the best player by far.
Right. 14th was Crystal Palace. I mean,
who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, they're a team that typically makes you say who cares, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier about Palace and the saga that's probably going to drag on with Wilfried Zaha. Is he's too good for them, and they shouldn't be trying to hold on to him because they're not going to build a team around him because they don't have the money to do it. So what they're doing instead is paying 140, 150 odd £1,000 a week to a player that is too good for him, and giving themselves like a little bit of false hope that they're going to then go on to something bigger and better, which is just never going to happen. And they're always going to be in and around where they are at the moment, if not closer to relegation than not. And I just feel like if they do, like you were saying earlier, Josh, I think, or Danny, if they do get rid of Zaha or sell him, they will use that money to strengthen. But if those signings aren't absolutely perfect for them, they'll be gone. They'll be down, and they'll deserve to be down. They just don't ever seem to be a club that has any ambition. And I don't even think Zaha has been their best player this year. I would actually have said it was Andre Ayew, but so yeah, that's my assessment of them. I think they've probably done what everyone's expected, really, if not overachieved by not getting relegated. So
I don't think we can spend that much time on this. I think the best player's probably been Gary Cahill because he's just been solid at the back, and since he's lost him, he just felt
because they don't pay any money for him.
Yeah. And the average age of the squad is like 47. Roy Hodgson's 704 years old. That seems like he managed England 2 fucking centuries ago. It's outdated, boring fucking football. He's just got no passion to fucking finish above where they are. All they care about is just staying in the Premier League. I just don't like teams like that. If there's any fans listening to this, you can fucking chastise me all you want. I support a better, more entertaining club. Sorry, that's not my fucking problem.
Right, that's Crystal Palace done then.
I think Palace's best player is Alexander Soloff, who they loaned out this season. He barely did anything for Palace. He scored like 20. He scored 28 goals on loan.
Is that the one that went to Turkish team?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that yesterday and I was like, why have they allowed that to happen?
Yeah.
They could have done with him.
Yeah.
I don't think, unless you're a Palace fan, I don't think you give a fuck about Palace, let's be honest. They're just there. The only good thing about Palace is the cheerleaders.
If they weren't
the eagle that comes out.
Yeah, the pre-match stuff is great. Everything pre-match towards before Palace, the atmosphere, the cheerleaders, the eagle, the light show, brilliant. And then the referee blows the whistle to start the game.
Yeah.
And you can just turn it off after that because they're fucking shite.
They're no one's second team, are they?
Fucking right. 20th.
Yeah, next up at 15th position is Brighton Hove Albion. I think they've overachieved. Yeah, they've not been relegated.
Yeah.
That's an overachievement.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job. I think they've played some good football.
Potter.
I think Graham Potter has tried to instill good football in that club. You can see them really trying to play out from the back whenever they get the ball. I think Matty Ryan at the back in goal, has been exceptional.
Yeah.
Neil Maupay is a massive fucking shithouse, and I love it. He's absolutely sent Guendouzi out of London. It's been brilliant. Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, Pascal Gross, also an honourable mention. Lewis Dunk, I'm quite surprised hasn't gone to a higher up the table club. I think he'd be.
I really like the left back, Dan Burn, the 6'7" lad. Yeah. 6'7" playing left back. What a beast!
I always thought about going back to Dunk. Would you have him at Everton, Josh? I would have thought he'd be a good buy for Everton.
Yeah.
And I don't mean any disrespect for that at all. I think Dunk's far too good for Brighton.
I see Michael Keane. I just see you're not improving on Michael Keane there.
I don't think so at all. I think Lewis Dunk is one of the fucking big reasons that Brighton are where they are, and they're not heading back to the Championship.
Yeah. But would he do it at another club though? It's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing about Dunk is I've never really seen that much difference between him and Shane Duffy, and he's one of our cast-offs. So, he came through Everton's youth. I don't think there's a great deal of difference between them. Two big defenders. And if Shane Duffy's not good enough for us, then maybe. But this season, he probably was good enough for us because he was shite. So,
special shout out on Brighton for the young right back that they brought through.
Tariq Lamptey.
Lamptey, yeah. I think he's been brilliant since he's come through.
Wasn't he?
He's really shown promise. I think so.
Chelsea, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's shown some real promise.
Yeah, he looks good. Best player?
Matt Ryan.
Maupay or Trossard, I would say.
Yeah, Trossard actually. Trossard might be up there.
I don't watch enough of them. I think that's my problem with Brighton. I can't give enough analysis because I see them on Sky Sports and I don't think that's must-watch TV. But I've seen enough of them, and Matt Ryan, he's got me a fair few points in fantasy this year. He's doing all right.
So, next up is 16th placed West Ham United.
Massive underachievement.
Probably the biggest most underachieved team in the league.
Them or Arsenal, definitely.
Yeah, them or Arsenal.
They've had absolute stinkers. They only just survived 2 games ago.
Yeah, it's been shocking.
The massive fucking stadium they've got, the players that they've signed, and they've brought in David Moyes.
Yeah, for the second time.
It goes down to their ownership. Their owners don't have a fucking clue about football, and it's going to get them relegated one day. Payet is still their highest assist and chance creator. He left the club 3 years ago.
Sebastian Haller was the biggest flop of the season as well, up there with
Joelinton. Felipe Anderson is not consistent enough for me.
Mikel Antonio's the boy, isn't he?
Mikel Antonio has been brilliant since lockdown.
Yeah,
I just think they've just been shit.
Yeah,
they've just been really, really bad, and I think they're very lucky to stay in the league. Like I said about Antonio, if it wasn't for Antonio, they'd be going down. And we said about Bournemouth getting raided. If West Ham went down, that would be the biggest of fire sales.
Declan Rice. He'll go. I would have Declan Rice at Manchester United.
He's got to be moving, hasn't he? Like, this is his time to move now. He's not going to do anything with them.
Well, he's just been given the armband.
I don't care.
Try and keep
they've just taken it off Mark Noble and put it on him.
You could be given a fucking swimming armband. You're not going to keep them afloat next season if they play like that again.
No, you're right. The only advantage that they've got over the other bottom teams is that they have that prospect of being a half-decent club. With the Olympic Stadium, with the players they've already got. But they've been awful this season. They've been really... Fabianski, who has been really reliable these last 2 seasons, looked like he put the Arsenal shirt back on again. He's been that bad.
Yeah.
They've lost Cresswell for injury for a lot of the season. They're playing Zabaleta at right back a lot. The man's fucking 56 years old.
Bowen's been alright. I like what I've seen of him.
Who?
Jared Bowen, is it?
Yeah, Bowen's been good.
He looks a decent player, yeah.
I like Ryan Fredericks at right back. I think he's decent.
Yarmolenko's been alright as well.
He scored the winner against Chelsea.
Yeah, scored the fucking equaliser against Villa. Did you see that horrible deflection?
Yeah.
You cannot credit him for that goal. That is outrageous.
That's what I mean. You look at their players on paper. That is a team that should be pushing the top 8.
Just shit.
They're miles better than everyone above them up until about Arsenal on paper, and they've just been awful.
I just think they're a bit of a joke, to be honest. I mean, you've got a stadium there that what with the old 80,000. I mean, you've got the play, the money they've thrown at players, not just this season, but over the last couple of seasons, and they've just turned out shite. Whether that's the players they've brought in or the manager they've had in at the time just doesn't suit the players that they've brought in, or vice versa. But I just think they're a bit of a joke, to be honest.
The manager appointments have been so bizarre.
Yeah, Pellegrini was a weird.
Pellegrini, who he was past it. That's why City got rid of him. Big Sam comes and goes whenever he feels like. I'd say it comes back to the owners that don't know anything about football.
Yeah. Best player?
Antonio.
Rice.
Declan Rice, probably, for me. I was just looking at his stats, actually. Well, West Ham's top stats. And for the position that he plays, he's actually been head and shoulders above anyone else in the team. So most passes, he's done like 200 more than Mark Noble.
Yeah, I agree. Antonio's had a fantastic end to the season, but he only scored 4 goals before the Watford game all season.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just had a good lockdown, good post lockdown.
But I do feel sorry for Antonio because he gets shifted about the pitch all the time. He'll be starting striker one game and then he'll be at right back the next.
Yeah,
and it's weird.
Good player to have, but not ideal for him.
Not for West Ham as well, because half the time he just gets left up there on his own, and he's got nothing to feed on. He's going off scraps the entire game. His work rate is outstanding.
Mm.
Yeah,
and for him to double his fucking goal scoring for the season in one game against Norwich tells you how much he struggled with the service he's received.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone went in for him.
Yeah.
I'd have him.
I was going to say an Everton. That's the kind of level where he should be at.
Somebody with a bit of determination. Somebody that's going to give you 100% on the pitch.
Yeah.
I tell you what, he looks like a cunt to play against.
Big,
strong. He's rapid. I'm going to go on that big rant again about players being quick. But he is. He looks like a defender's nightmare. He's direct. Yeah. He looks like prime Drogba when he's in the air.
Strong.
Just can't edit in the goal.
You could channel his big dunk, Brevin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's someone that can work across that front 4 as well, though. Like you said, he moves around the pitch. If you've got 2 strikers on, play him right wing.
The problem with Everton's a service. You've got 3. If you've got Antonio for Everton, all right, you've got Antonio, you've got Calvert-Lewin, and then you've got Richarlison. You've got 3 really good forwards there, but they're still not getting the service. This is the problem.
Your service is coming from your left back.
Walcott, I watched him again the other day, and I don't know what the fuck's happened to him.
He's finished. He's in the bin.
Time to retire, isn't it? That's
the
thing with him.
Right then. And because we've already done the relegation teams, we're on to the final team to review. In 17th place, pulled off the great escape, Aston Villa.
I'm happy for them. Really
I think they've underachieved. I expected them to do a lot better.
They spent a lot of money in summer, and to only just scrape out of relegation on the last day. Yeah, I would say they've underachieved, and they might hold on to players like Grealish, but I think he's going United. I think there are a lot of fans from a lot of clubs like Arsenal and Spurs who think he's going there, but you're wrong. Sorry, he's gonna go
if
United.
Grealish is moving anywhere, he's coming to Manchester. It's just the top of which club he goes to, and it's more than likely going to be United.
I can't see him being a City player.
He's not going to get a look in it.
He's not. No, he'll take that Leroy Sané role of the bench, or like rephrase that. Foden's taking what is Silva and Sané's starting place, and then Grealish will become that sub. But the thing is, does he start at United?
No,
he doesn't for me either.
But again,
I don't know where he plays.
This is the same as what I was saying about Ake. The fact that he's going from Bournemouth to a Champions League club, he's not going to expect to be starting every game. And Grealish is the same. Fair enough, however good he thinks he is, he's going from Villa to a Champions League team. He can't expect to be starting every week. But we do need a player of his calibre in squad depth. We need a player that can come on and change a game. Like City have players like Mahrez and whoever on the bench that can come on and change a game. And that's what we need because Mata's too old. Lingard is Wigan destiny. Like there's just nothing on our bench that can change a game for us. And I think that's what Grealish will be. And he'll come with that in mind. But at the same time, he might think to himself, well, do you know what? I will prove that I should deserve to be starting for Man United. But that's what we need. We need a player that will be prepared to sit on the bench and come on to change a game, but then prove why he should be starting. We want people to have to bust their arse off every week to get into the first team, not just someone that comes in expecting to be in the first team.
I think the potential's definitely there. He's, apart from Kevin De Bruyne, I think he's number 2 for chances created this season.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
and that's 17th place Aston Villa. Do you know what I mean? Like the potential is there. He's a very creatively minded player. He sees passes and opportunities that other players don't, especially in that Villa team. I think he's the big reason why they stayed up this season. The McGinn injury hurt him.
Yeah,
McGinn was a big player for Villa last season, and he's only just started to look like himself now again. McGinn. And you can understand that after such a big injury. The recruitment's been poor. Some of the players that they bought have just not fucking bedded in. I'd argue none of the players they bought have bedded in properly.
No, you look at the team that's finished the season, it's most of the team that actually came up.
Exactly. And I think that's the big mistake that Dean Smith's made. I think he should have just added 1 or 2 on top of what he already had. And I think they've gone out and spent loads and tried to throw money at it like it was a problem. But Villa looked great last season in the Championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's face it, Villa last season, the Championship, were better than the bottom 4 or 5 teams who finished in the bottom 5 last season, the Premier League, arguably, you could say. I don't think they really needed to throw loads of money at the problem, I really don't.
The problem is it's one of them weird ones for the promoted teams where you don't know whether to spend money or not. Like, you could do what Norwich did. Norwich barely bought anyone, and they got caught out for it quick.
Sheffield United did they?
Not
didn't
really, no.
Well,
no. Not until January.
Yeah.
Barely spent any money till January. And then you've got Villa, like you said, who spent a load of money and it didn't work. It just about worked for them. Now, more than likely, we'll see them closer to mid-table next year. I fully believe that because I think the players that they've signed will settle a bit better. They're going to improve. They're going to sign. If they get 70, 80 million for Grealish, they're going to use it wisely. They've got billionaire owners. Money's not an issue for them. So they'll go and spend it. I would be very shocked if they're in a relegation battle again next year. Very shocked.
I mean, I think we forget as well. They made a League Cup final as well.
Yeah,
I did forget. I did forget that.
You know, they've made a League Cup final and survived.
Yeah,
bad, I suppose.
Judge that as you will.
So then I think they've satisfactory really.
Yeah.
Overachieved in one, underachieved in the other.
So best player then?
Best Grealish.
It's got to be Jack.
Yeah, it's got to be Grealish, isn't it?
Trezeguet's in with a shout, and Samata played quite well for quite a while.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he did. Did
he score any goals?
Yeah, but no one really scored goals for Villa.
No, I think McGinn would have definitely been there if it wasn't for the injury. What he showed at the start of the season, he looked fantastic. Pepe Reina, bringing Pepe Reina in January was a brilliant signing.
Great idea. Yeah.
He saved them at times. He still got it, Reina. He was a top class keeper at Liverpool. He's still a good keeper.
Yeah. Brilliant
still one of the
everywhere.
best in the league, I think.
Yeah,
if you could rename Villa Jack Grealish FC, I don't think any of the other 10 players on the field would be offended. I just think he's ran the show this season for him.
Yeah, you're right.
I agree.
Thanks for listening to another episode of 4 Manx 1 Toffee. To find us on social media, please search for @4Manx1Toffee on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Also, please subscribe to the podcast on all of your major podcast stations, including Spotify, Anchor, Apple and Google Podcasts. From myself, Lee, Danny, Dale and Josh, thanks, and we'll see you next time.